All right, so let's dive into something that I know can feel kind of daunting,
Yeah.
networking.
Uh-huh.
But this deep dive is all about showing you it's not as scary as it seems.
Right.
It's really just connecting with people,
Exactly.
which you've been doing naturally your whole life,
Uh-huh.
about making genuine connections,
Yeah.
like you do with friends or family,
Right.
but with a professional twist.
Totally.
It's like expanding your circle to include people who share your professional interests.
I like that.
Our source breaks it down into two approaches.
Okay.
Spontaneous,
Okay.
which is more like bumping into someone you know just randomly,
Yeah.
and planned networking, where you're intentionally setting out to connect with someone.
Makes sense.
And they're both incredibly valuable.
Absolutely.
Let's start with spontaneous networking.
Okay.
The source gives the example of Lisa, who was just grabbing lunch,
Uh-huh.
and she ran into a Peace Corps rep at a table. Lisa wasn't even looking for a connection,
Oh, wow.
but this chance encounter opened up a whole world of information for her.
That's awesome.
She even got connected with someone who had actually served in the Peace Corps.
Really?
It just shows that you never know who you'll meet
Uh-huh.
or what might come from just saying hello.
Yeah, just being open to those moments. And
Yeah.
those kinds of unplanned moments can spark amazing opportunities.
Absolutely.
It's like keep your eyes open because you never know where that next connection might be.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like finding a $20 bill in your pocket.
Haha. Yeah.
A little surprise that brightens your day.
I like that.
The source also talks about Kelsey, who met an alum at a college event.
Okay.
Just a casual chat,
Uh-huh.
and boom,
Uh-huh.
she got a lead on an internship.
Wow.
So Kelsey's story is a great example of how even brief interactions can have a huge impact.
Yeah, for sure.
It reinforces that networking doesn't have to be this big formal thing.
Right.
Sometimes it's just about being open to conversations and connections wherever you go.
I love that.
So now let's switch gears to planned networking.
Okay.
This is where you're intentionally putting yourself out there to connect with folks in your field, like Ben did. Ben just chatted with his professor
Uh-huh.
about renewable energy,
Okay.
and that led to an introduction to an expert in the field.
Wow. So he was just like seeking information and
Yeah.
it turned into a connection.
Yeah.
That's great.
See, even something as simple as talking to your professor,
Yeah.
which, let's be honest, we all do anyway,
Right. Of course.
can open doors to your dream career.
It's true.
It's a great reminder that the people we interact with every day can be valuable bridges to our goals.
They can be.
And what's interesting here is that Ben was simply seeking information,
Yeah.
but that conversation turned into a direct connection with someone working in his field of interest.
That's awesome.
Professors are gold mines of knowledge and connections.
And most are more than happy to share their network with students.
They really are. It's great.
It's like having a personal guide through the professional maze.
I like that analogy a lot.
You know, speaking of taking initiative, Emily's story really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah. What about Emily?
She was at a career fair, specifically looking for internships in California.
Okay.
And the recruiter she spoke to wasn't hiring in California at that moment.
Oh,
And Emily followed up afterwards
good for her.
and ended up with a contact on the West Coast.
That's awesome. I love that.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
It shows that networking isn't always about immediate result.
Right. It's like planting seeds
Exactly.
that might grow into something amazing later on.
Yeah,
You're building a network for the future, not just for today.
absolutely.
Sounds like a long game.
Okay, last but not least.
We have David used informational interviews to explore the field of arts administration.
Oh, that's a good one. Informational interviews are a fantastic tool.
Yeah.
It's a chance to pick the brain of someone
Right.
who's already where you want to be.
Uh-huh.
And as David's found out,
Yeah.
they can even lead to job offers.
Yeah. He learned about a job opening during one of his informational interviews,
Really?
and it wasn't even publicly advertised yet.
Wow, that's like a secret passage.
It is.
Or like a cheat code to
Oh,
a video
no.
game.
So David's approach highlights how informational interviews can give you insider knowledge
Yeah,
and access to opportunities you wouldn't find anywhere else.
exactly. It's like having a backstage pass
Yeah.
to your dream career.
So we've seen how both spontaneous and planned networking
Uh-huh,
can open up all these exciting possibilities.
for sure.
But what about figuring out where to start?
Right, because that can be overwhelming.
It can.
You already have a network.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Like how?
Think about it.
Okay.
You've got family, friends,
Okay.
maybe former employers,
Yeah.
even your old soccer coach.
Right.
They might not be directly in your field,
Uh-huh.
but they could know someone who is.
Oh, right.
It's all about connections.
like 6 degrees of separation.
Exactly.
But for our careers.
Yeah,
So it's not about starting from scratch.
right.
It's about leveraging those existing connections
Totally.
and realizing that your network is bigger than you think.
Way bigger.
And the source also suggests joining clubs and professional organizations that align with your interests.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not only would those groups connect you with people in your field, but they could also give you insights into what it's really like to work in that industry.
Right. They give you that inside scoop.
Yeah.
And those groups often host events and workshops.
Oh, that's
so that means even more chances to connect with people.
like a built-in networking system.
Exactly.
It's like they do the heavy lifting for you
Yeah.
by bringing people with shared interests together.
Exactly.
And don't forget about online platforms like LinkedIn.
Yeah. LinkedIn is a fantastic way to expand your network and connect with people you might not otherwise have access to.
Right.
And if you're not sure where to start with finding alumni,
Yeah.
reaching out to faculty or administrators can be a huge help.
Like having a personal scout,
Totally.
helping you find the right people to connect with.
Exactly.
Now, let's say you find yourself at an event,
Okay.
maybe a career fair or an industry mixer, surrounded by all these potential connections.
Yeah.
This is where the source emphasizes the power of the elevator pitch.
Yes. The elevator pitch.
Having a concise and compelling self-introduction up your sleeve is crucial in those situations.
Perfect.
It's your chance to make a strong first impression and spark someone's interest.
Absolutely.
The source recommends a simple format
Okay.
that includes your full name, class year,
Okay.
your major,
Got it.
your field of interest, and a polite request to ask a few questions about their career.
Makes sense.
It's like a quick snapshot of who you are and what you're looking for.
Yeah, like a little mini bio
Exactly.
to pique their interest.
The source even provides a great example.
Hey, perfect. Let's hear it.
Hi, I'm Robert Plant.
Okay.
It's nice to meet you. I'm a first-year student at Lawrence majoring in psychology.
Okay.
I'm interested in learning more about the publishing field.
Uh-huh.
And I heard that you work at XYZ Publishing.
Okay.
Would you mind if I ask you a couple of questions about your experiences working in publishing?
Perfect.
See,
Yeah.
short, sweet, and to the point,
Easy to remember.
friendly, respectful,
Uh-huh.
and it opens the door for a conversation.
It does.
No need for a long-winded speech.
Right. It's not a presentation.
Exactly.
It's a conversation starter.
It's like extending a hand
Yeah.
and inviting someone into a conversation
Uh-huh.
rather than bombarding them with information.
Right. Just a little taste.
Now let's move on to a really valuable networking tool.
Okay.
Informational interviews.
They're so valuable.
They are.
But they can seem a little intimidating
They can.
at first.
Yeah.
But they're really just about having a focused conversation with someone to learn more about their work and their industry.
Right. It's like taking a behind-the-scenes tour
Exactly.
of someone's career path.
And the beauty of it is
Yeah.
you get to ask the questions that are most relevant to you.
So let's start with arranging and preparing.
Okay.
Our expert highlights the importance of having a polished resume,
Yes.
tailored to your field of interest.
Of course.
And if you have access to a career advisor,
Uh-huh.
take advantage of their expertise.
Please do.
They can help you fine-tune your resume
Yes.
and make sure it shines.
It'll sparkle.
When reaching out to someone for an informational interview,
Okay.
the source suggests email or LinkedIn
Okay.
as good starting points.
Makes sense.
They emphasize being clear about your interest in a 15-20-minute conversation.
Right.
No need to ask for a huge chunk of their time right off the bat.
Yeah. Just start small.
And here's where the preparation comes in.
Okay.
Before you even send that email
Yeah.
or LinkedIn message,
Right.
do your research.
Absolutely.
Learn about the person you're contacting
Mm-hmm.
and their field of work. This allows you to ask more informed and engaging questions during the interview.
And it shows that you're genuinely interested in what they do.
Right.
Not just looking for a quick favor.
Speaking of questions,
Yeah.
the source highlights the importance of preparing specific questions in advance.
Yes. Always come prepared.
But
Yeah.
while having those questions prepared is great,
Yes.
you also want to be flexible
Right.
and let the conversation flow naturally.
Of course. Because sometimes the most valuable insights come from those unexpected detours in the conversation.
Right. You never know where the conversation might lead you.
Exactly.
So be prepared.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to let the conversation wander a bit.
I agree.
Now on to step 2,
Okay.
conducting the interview.
Here we go.
Whether it's on the phone or in person,
Uh-huh.
professionalism is key.
Always.
The source emphasizes finding a quiet place,
Yeah.
being on time,
Of course.
and expressing gratitude for their time.
So important.
It sounds like common sense. But you'd be surprised how often those basics get overlooked.
It's true.
It's about showing respect.
Yeah.
For the person's time and expertise.
Right, and their willingness to share with you.
And while you want to be professional, remember to relax.
Yes.
And let your genuine curiosity shine through.
Be yourself.
Active listening is crucial here. This isn't just about getting a job.
Right.
It's about learning from someone's experience.
It's about gaining insights.
And be mindful of their time cues.
Yeah.
Wrap up the conversation gracefully. And thank them for sharing their insights.
Absolutely.
If the connection feels strong, you can always ask about staying in touch or connecting on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Not every informational interview will lead to a job offer.
Right.
Or even a groundbreaking revelation.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
It is. It is.
It's like going on a hike.
Yeah.
You might not find a hidden treasure every time, but you'll definitely get some fresh air and exercise along the way.
I love that analogy.
And that brings us to the final step.
Okay.
Follow-up.
The follow-up.
The source stresses sending a prompt thank you note.
Yes.
Summarizing key insights from the conversation.
So important.
It's a simple gesture that goes a long way.
It does.
In showing your appreciation and solidifying the connection.
Absolutely.
It's like saying, hey, I really valued our conversation.
Yeah.
And I took your advice to heart.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Exactly.
The source also recommends keeping a log of your interactions.
Yeah, no, that's smart.
Which can be super helpful when you want to follow up periodically.
Right.
They suggest reaching out every 4 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Just to stay on their radar.
Yeah.
And keep the conversation going.
Keep nurturing that connection.
Right.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into networking,
what's
the one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I would say networking is about building authentic connections.
Yeah.
Just like you do in your personal life.
Right.
It's about being curious, being helpful,
Okay.
and being genuinely interested in other people.
And it's not about being pushy
No.
or self-serving.
Not at all.
It's about building a community of people who support and inspire each other.
I love that.
For our listener who's ready to take action, what's one small step they can take this week
Yeah.
to start building those connections?
I would say think of one person you could reach out to.
Okay.
Maybe a former professor, an alum working in a field that intrigues you,
Okay.
or even a friend of a friend.
Right.
Send them a message.
Yeah.
Express your interest in their work.
Uh-huh.
And see where the conversation leads.
It's like dipping your toe in the networking pool.
Exactly.
You might be surprised at how refreshing it feels.
It can be really fun.
And remember, every conversation is a potential stepping stone
Yes.
on your professional journey.
It's true.
So be yourself, be curious, and enjoy the process.
Have fun with it.
You never know where those connections might lead.
You really don't.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of networking.
It was my pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful.
Yeah.
And dare we say,
Hey.
even a little bit fun.
I hope so.
Until next time,
Yes.
keep learning.
Keep connecting.
See you next time.